Mochi Health is a long-term weight loss solution personalized to fit your unique needs and goals. Meet one-on-one with board-certified obesity doctors and registered dietitians who are on a mission to listen. Eligible patients can access custom-formulated GLP-1 medications at an affordable, set price and get them delivered to their home each month. No insurance required. FSA and HSA accepted. With 24/7 customer service available, Mochi Health is here to partner with you on your journey to a healthier life. Take the free quiz at joinmochi.com and use code AUDIO40 at checkout for $40 off your first month of membership. That's joinmochi.com.
I'm saying the sentence I was just about to say right now. Robert, you and I are just going to have to just do a Just Between Us Girls when we record Rulaska Thoughts, because that's inevitably what happens. Is we just did 15 minutes talking about nonsense right here.
Absolute nonsense.
Rulaska Thoughts. Oh, welcome one, welcome all to the little show we call Rulaska Thoughts. Now, I gotta be honest with you, Robert Mata. By the way, he's lived there for 10 years plus, but still doesn't consider himself a native. It's Mr. Weho himself. Roberto Mata.
Well, I'm not a native. I am technically a transplant, but I have been here 11 years. So I do think I'm bona fide LA, Angelina, West Hollywoodian, whatever.
You know what's funny is years ago he popped up a little bit on the show, like a few times, 3 or 4 times. Was this? Oh, I can't remember his name. Oh, fuck, like that sucks. I can't remember his name. I met him through Jay Ellis. I wish we had a few mutual friends. People might know him. He was the blonde twink from Kitty Girl who was with Shangela in the Kitty Girl video. And he plays the gay unicorn on, I don't know if he still does that, the gay unicorn. And now he's like a non-binary dancer. I don't remember what his name was.
What gay unicorn? Like in My Little Pony?
No, I think he had a name. He had like a viral thing.
In Drag Tots?
No, it wasn't in Drag Tots. I can't remember his name. Hold on. Now I got to text. I can't go to my phone because that'll take forever. We can text Jay. What is the name of the gay guy that I interrupted his video and he thought it was an emergency? So I don't talk to him. The story behind that, and we talked about this on the show, is he makes viral content. He makes content, right? Content creator.
Sure. I mean, I'd be much more interested in a straight unicorn, but go on.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Jay respond. Well, this makes no sense to anybody here.
No, he's so speedy.
No, that has nothing to do with that. It has to do with what we were talking about earlier. Oh, Jake.
Me comparing myself to an attractive Latino guy on a show about coming out in college.
Yeah, he said that, he knows that show, that his friend told him that they all look way too old to be in college. Okay. Jake Dupree. Jake Dupree is the name of this queen. Who, by the way, Jake Dupree is a twin. And his twin is gay, and they're identical twins. And I'm going to talk about the strangeness of this all. But he's a weatherman in like Texas.
I kind of love that. I would actually be down to be a weatherman as something in my. It's at a point in my life.
And here's the deal: I like femboys, but like there's something about Jake that I don't. Like he's pretty on paper, but like I'm just like almost the way I feel about Denali, but there's just zero, like a Ken doll. But the twin brother who presents more masculine, we'll say, I'm like all about.
Oh, shocking.
Will Dupree, yes. Jake Dupree, nice guy. But anyway, the reason I bring him up is, he's on the show a few times. And so the story Jay's talking about, as I told Jay, was there was one time where I butt dialed him. I didn't notice. I hung up. And then he called me. He's like, what's the problem? What's the problem? And I go, what? And he goes, you called me. I go, oh, I think that was an accident. He goes, oh, I was filming content and I had to stop because it interrupted it. And I thought it was an emergency. And I was like, in what universe am I in an emergency And I'm like, I need to call Jake Dupree. And what is like an emergency performance of Kitty Girl?
I don't know. Maybe it's a really contrived Rune Goldberg-esque Final Destination moment where the only name on your phone that you can access is Jake Dupree, and that he could be your lifeline.
It's so funny. Like when he and I were talking more often, he goes, "Hey, I'm doing this drag show." He was starting to do drag. He only did it for a little bit. I'm doing this drag show at it wasn't at Mickey's. It might have been at Rage before Rage went away, right?
Oh, Rage.
He goes, I'm doing this drag show. I need all the support I can get. Can you show up? And I was like, okay, well, he does so much. He comes on the show. I'll go, right?
Also, it's Rage. There are probably 5 people there on a good night.
And Evan Ayers was in town. And so he went with me. There were so many fucking people there.
Was it Game
And they
Boy?
were all there for him.
Oh, wow.
Like, he didn't fucking need me to go.
Maybe he wanted you there. Maybe he cherishes your opinion and presence that much, girl.
I didn't even say hi. I left.
It's just so nasty.
I'm like, you didn't need me. You're going to win. Goodbye. Right? It was a vote. You voted. Right? Anyway, nice enough guy. But the reason I bring him up was, I tease you for being like, I just called you the something WeHo gay or something like that, right? He literally was the grand marshal one year of the WeHo Pride Parade. I think the grand marshal they had dropped out. So they were like, okay, well, we'll get the gay unicorn.
Well, that means there's at least one gay at the early Sunday morning WeHo Pride Parade.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, of course he is. Anyway, if this show ever comes out, I don't know what we would call it. Our Just Between Us Girls show.
I maintain with Mexican gays complaining. I think it cuts to the meat of what we do ultimately.
How are you taking away the name of my network now?
Because I'm adapting it to me and us.
Oh, okay. I'll just call it Robert Complain. That's the way he'll like it. So, patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia or the Patreon app. That's where you get all this content. I was thinking about the drop. I was talking to people on the drop. The drop is what Patreon calls when you drop something live. And it was the video of a recap. And I'm like, oh, people get to watch us and the faces we make or anything like that. And they're talking to each other. It's a really good time. And again, if you're a free member, you get access to the live recording. And if you're up at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, you're around, you can watch it live. And all you do is be a free member. Everybody has access. The drop, that's just Patreon supporters and above. But I don't know what's above a Patreon supporter. You guys get what I'm saying. And the other thing, too, is you can get the show, total recap, uncut, no commercials, and Just Between Us Girls for $6.45 a month right there on Apple Podcasts. Pay with Apple Pay. You don't have to deal with Patreon. Don't have to deal with another app. It's right there in your podcasting app. There we go. That's it. Any other? Robert and I saw each other on Saturday. We ate way too much food. We're going to talk about the details of this, speaking on Patreon, on the tea coming up. But it was myself. I met Robert's sister, who is very lovely, and I liked her very much. I was surprised. I was hoping she wouldn't be mean like Robert.
She's not really mean, no. Unless she's had enough of me for the weekend, then she'll start, throwing things at me. And I'm like, damn, I thought you were the nice one.
I'd love a private conversation. I wish I could have had some alone time with Ariana, your sister, and told her more stories about Lori. I just didn't want to get Lori upset. Like, we didn't even really tell Lori about the chonies and the sink and the bathroom.
We were also eating, and I was being forced to participate in your feeder fetish, so...
True. And, we didn't tell all the story. We lively group conversation. But since your sister and Lori work in the same field, they're both teachers. I was like, oh, she would love to know these stories. But I could already tell just from one story. She was like,
No. I had prepped her to, she hasn't really listened to really any afterthought content. I think she hears enough of me when I'm at home. But I already told her the kind of jokes that you might throw out. I threw out, don't be upset if Joe brings up the fact that Vince choked me that one time in that argument. Lori might have say something vaguely off color, but she'll probably run through it quickly. Like I gave her a quick log line of everyone as well, so she was well prepped.
Wait, go back. I was trying to remember who Vince was. I remember who he is, but
my older brother.
Yeah. But wait, what was the part you were talking about before? The Lori what? The Lori what?
Well, it just that there's a chance that like Joe will bring up the fact of Lori's racist 2006 tour or whatever, and I'm like, that's not true. But they do have some funny jokes now and then. They're off color and blah blah blah.
Not now and then.
You're right. It's more like every then.
That they're funny jokes?
Off color ones is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna take a break, and I'm gonna tell all my Polish and Asian jokes to Robert during the break. We'll be back after this.
Long gone are the days of waiting to be seen in a doctor's office only to have that awkward conversation with your healthcare provider. Wisp gives you access to sexual and reproductive healthcare from the comfort of your home. Get treatment for BV, yeast infections, UTIs, and much more delivered directly to your home or ready for pickup at your local pharmacy in less than 3 hours. The best part? Wisp is discreet, convenient, and you don't need medical insurance to receive care or prescription medication. Visit us today at hellowisp.com.
Ah, Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant.
Whoa, that's refreshing.
And a 9.5 plus pH for every way you move.
I did take a Spain class today.
Restoring like a pro. Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
Running a business comes with a lot of what ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Wow, Robert's quite the chatty Cathy today. The break now is a whole other show that we can do on Patreon. I just
Can't the
usually
girl
just
talk?
hit the button and then hit the button again a few seconds later. But this time Robert had a whole other thing he wanted to talk. There's a whole show going on here, not on the air. Anyway, Robert, I'm gonna be honest with you about something. Usually, not all the time, and there have been obviously times someone can reference, I will be like, I have nothing. This is truly, I think I put everything on the table on recap. I think I have nothing left to say about this episode, but I'm very curious because you're often a contrarian.
Yes,
if
I
you
am.
have anything to say. Well, for instance, you're the only person I've heard, even on Reddit or anything, who think that Cynthia and Alyssa should have won the team sewing challenge.
And I will applaud you for the joke that 3 people only on the face of the world thought that Alyssa and Cuckoo should have been in the top. Alyssa,
Yeah.
Cuckoo, and Robert Mata.
Yeah.
gave me a good guffaw. Thanks, Mama. I maintain I'm surprised myself, but what I was saying, at least last week that I recall, is that Ginger's outfit bombed their team from winning, and in my opinion, Denali and Acid, more so Denali's than Acid's look, bombed their team from winning. And between Alyssa and Cynthia, there wasn't something that, killed them. I thought they both were just a cut above adequate, and at least both of them were, and therefore that team should have won on an average.
Okay. And then what do you think about this episode?
Oh my God. What do I think about this episode? I am mourning the momentum of what was a very good season up until the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing all the girls from brackets 1 and 2 again in a couple of weeks, but I don't know how I'm supposed to steel myself for a badly hidden pup play fetish bachelor improv challenge, obviously suited for one Ginger Minge. I'm having a hard time with it just based off of the 30-second preview at the end of the episode.
Yeah, it's I really am trying to wrap my brain around why the show is going so ham in promoting Ginger Mint. It's not even like a questionable riggery thing. It's like, I saw this speculation online, and I don't even pay attention to the veracity of it because it's purely speculation. That this past episode we wrote was essentially a love letter to Miley Cyrus, hoping that she would have been the guest judge. What I love on Reddit is someone will be like, wow, this would have been a really good episode to guest judge. And people then create these entire fantasies about how Miley was booked as a guest judge. Like, does someone say, like, I bet she was booked as a guest judge. And then someone will be like, yeah, she probably wasn't, then backed out because she's doing. And then they have these entire backstories written about how Miley Cyrus was booked as a guest judge, and then she had to back out last minute for a scheduling conflict. I'm like, that no one's ever said this, right? But essentially that, and have they ever had the person who's the Knight of 1,000 as the that would be kind of awkward, wouldn't you think?
A little bit, but it did make for a very, very good and heartwarming Night of 1,000 when on Drag Race Spain, they did it for my queen, Anna Locking.
Oh, that's right. You love her. Okay.
I adore her.
So anyway, the reason I bring this up is it's weird that the entire bracket was is just already conceived from production, writing, and everything like that as a love letter to Ginger Minj. And
to Ginger Minj or Miley?
No, I'm talking about the whole bracket to Ginger Minj. The challenges, everything. And then someone wrote to me, and there was a longer thing that they wrote to me. They were saying, I don't know anything, but they were speculating, about the semifinals and speculating that probably the first episode. I venture to guess that probably this person might know. It's just weird that they were like, I don't read Reddit, but like laid out this entire thing. So I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, or I don't know. I really don't read the spoiler Reddit. Do you read the Reddit spoilers?
Sometimes if I first watch the first episode, I will go to the little T-checker document they have and see what the anticipated order of elimination is so that I can know if my favorites are only going to have like 2 or 3 episodes or if they're going all the way.
Do you know anything for this season?
I know who the wild card pick is. I got that spoiled for me, and I'm not going to say anything further about it.
What I'm talking about is, I mean, it makes sense. They're going to have to do Snatch Game, and it looks like they're going to do it in semifinals, right? And the person was like, well, that's another thing that Ginger's going to do well in. Because if you think about the other girls, who else could do well in Snatch Game?
Bosco might.
I guess
Although,
they said
now that I think about it, she was
poorly
in the season 14 one that everyone did awful.
Yeah. Oh, Irene. We've never seen Irene, and I could see Irene performing well in Snatch Game.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's another win for Ginger. And it's like this entire love letter to Ginger Minj. And so, okay, so let's say you're ready to do that. But like, if you have it so in the bag for her, like obviously her weakest one would have been the sewing challenge. You could have easily given it to one of the other queens. I won't say who, some of the other ones, right? But it was weird. It's just weird that they're just like, they're so in the bag for her that there's going to just, it doesn't explain it to me.
No, it doesn't make sense to me either.
Hard. And like, even with Global All-Stars, Alyssa didn't, in fact, it was almost embarrassing. Alyssa didn't do very well at all, and then all of a sudden won, right?
Yeah. I think it's sort of reflective of, like, say, All-Stars 1, everyone said it was made for Chad Michaels. All-Stars 5, it was made as an apology to Shea Coulee. All-Stars 8 was meant to catapult Jimbo. These All-Star seasons that are created to elevate a queen, we've always had the fandom sort of get outraged when they can sense the glazing and the inauthenticity of the competition. And that's why I wonder, for Chad Michaels losing to Sharon and as a legend getting respected, I can understand more of that. With Shea also, I can understand more of that. Jimbo makes some sense. I just don't get why they would do all of that for Ginger, because they know that the audience, generally speaking, doesn't particularly care for her. Now they do, because Drag Race fans love to be contrarians even more on a random Monday morning. So because people are getting mad that it's obviously rigged for Ginger, now all of a sudden the girlies are running out saying, actually, Ginger's mega talented and I love her and I just feel bad for her and it's all awful and she doesn't deserve any of this, Now all of a sudden the fandom's turning around on her because it gives them a chance to feel different. But before that, Come on.
I think ultimately what it is that it's a consolation prize for someone who does a lot for them. Whenever someone's sick or whenever they have a space in Vegas, she fills in. Wasn't she your MC or whatever?
She was my MC, and it just furthered my opinion that I'm just very neutral on Ginger Minj. She's perfectly fine. I don't think she's a mega superstar. I don't think she's that great of a character. I don't think she's bad either. She's just there.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to see her bulging her eyes out and opening her mouth? And everyone's saying that that's great theatricality.
Honestly, I was saying it, but they really should. I mean, they haven't been doing DragCon, so maybe DragCon is a dead venture, right? But when they had DragCon, or maybe it could be a special that they do or something, just the girls that have been there and are truly legends and icons and truly all-stars, but they just don't have an official crown from a challenge. Just give them a fucking crown. Just give them the title. Call them an all-star. Here's a good example of someone who can't even compete anymore. It will be too ridiculous. But Raven. Raven has shown herself, huh?
I would live, actually.
All of a sudden Raven was a competitor.
When they did that season, All-Star 7, the all-winner season, when she walked in, I think that's the most fun I had with Drag Race in the longest, because she's that ridiculous. I loved it, and I would love to see Raven compete again. Obviously, she's evil and rotted, but I live for that, so. Hey.
But not just that. I mean, she's even said in interviews that, the reason when RuPaul hires a hairstylist, she's hiring a best friend. And that, they don't do it all in one sitting. That's why it takes all days. They'll do a little bit and then they kiki and have lunch and go get coffee. And then they do a little more. And so she's with them they're her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it just would be categorically unfair. But
yeah, factually.
She is an icon. She is an all-star. Probably many would argue and would have a very successful argument. She should have won season 2.
Well,
I'm just saying. I'm not saying they would win the argument, but they could make make a valid argument. No, there are people who have said what you say. If you watch season 2, Tyra just dominated. So, but then, she is an all-star, and so just give it to them. In baseball, when they do all-stars or Hall of Fame, when they do Hall of Fame and all-stars, they don't make you go play a game again and win the game.
When did you all of a sudden become fucking Jackie Robinson?
I am prepping for my role as Bart Giamatti in the Bart Giamatti story.
Slay. Any relation to Paul?
It is his father.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm prepping for. And so I'm just getting ready for that. Everything is baseball in my world.
I love that. The next time I'm at Dodger Stadium, I will definitely keep my eyes peeled for you.
Thank you. You can see my number in the which is strangely my weight, which I find really offensive.
What if they put you in a twink on the kiss cam?
I would love that. Actually, I'm over. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't know what happened, but I'm done with twinks. Done. Officially.
Oh my God. The declaration's been made.
Now, look, it doesn't mean, by twink, I mean, I'm just done. Okay? That said, look, twink corpses probably still have a chance, I don't mean dead twinks. I mean people who've gone through twink death.
I don't even know what that means, but I'll just give him a chuckle.
Yeah. Lately, Robert's been doing that to me. And because this is going to come out on another Patreon plug. There's a show that's going to come out where I'm going to talk about how someone is trying to set me up with somebody. But it's a whole thing. You have to listen to Throwing Down on patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. And I'm really trying to broaden my horizons. This is not a guy that I would typically go for, but I am willing to try.
Look at you.
So to speak. Yeah. Well, look, the guy that I hooked up with at Lori's wedding is not a tip guy I would typically go for. But if you're going to put your dick in my face,
it's still a fun story.
It's still a fun story. So, cut to that guy. We start dating. He goes, I want to listen to Rulaska Thoughts from, episode All Stars 10, episode 8. And he's like, what? So anyway, yeah. So what were we talking about?
We were talking about the only thing anyone can talk about in the Drag Race sphere at the moment, which is Ginger Minj. And maybe also we'll get into Denali's lip sync at some point, I imagine.
Let's talk about Denali's lip sync. I'm really sick of talking about Ginger Minj. I think
I'm
we
sick
can all
of
agree.
hearing about Ginger Minj. Enough.
Yeah. As we talked about it, it's been discussed. The drag queens are dragging queen about it on social media. Someone's pointed out, it's bad. I will say this. Someone said, it's obvious. No, it's bad when even former contestants are saying it on social media.
It's interesting that some of the ones who are doing that are all people who have had the same allegations of favoritism, leveled at them, So are they trying to get brownie points from the general populace now?
I don't know. You're right. Maybe they're just mad that it hasn't, because yes, the favoritism has been there for people. I think you're talking about like Candy Muse and Eureka, or who are you talking about?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. But World of Wonder, we've seen it before, but I have never seen it so blatantly obvious. Like, they're not even hiding it.
Last week I said I can see the objective argument, but I don't think that's my position. Now that we had this fucking country song challenge, I'm like, I can't, I can't even deny. Well, and Ginger had such a strange energy this whole episode. She was shocked when she won the challenge, and she was shocked when she went to the lip sync. The outfit fit was very weird, and she felt very uncomfortable in it. So everything was, and she had a very low level of energy while performing at Stage Cooch herself. It wasn't up to her usual, standards. So even all that to say, I wonder if Ginger's realizing in real time, which is like, fuck, I'm going to get so much blowback from the audience because they're just handing me everything.
Yeah, it's very strange. So let's go to Denali. Kenny, I was gonna go on. I was gonna go on that, but I can't even talk about it anymore. Denali's lip sync.
Denali spent that entire episode validating my opinion, which is that all she wants to do is win, win, win. I'm so good at music. Everyone better watch out. I've done the most iconic lip sync. Everything's great. Like, she literally is out here, straight A student, screaming at everyone about how fucking good she is at everything. And
you were jealous.
This karmic justice of her doing the most ridiculous, lip sync that everyone's sort of collectively cringing at is a little bit juicy to me. And I don't even dislike the gal, but if you're going to hype yourself up like that, it'd be awesome if you actually delivered and, didn't do such wildly sick moves as, doing a bow and arrow when the lyrics say aim, or doing sleepy time hands on the side of your head when the lyrics reference being asleep. And touching your cooch, or your butthole rather. What was that?
Again, look, as I said about Georges, I love a good butthole, right? And not Lydia Collins. That was really gross to me. Like, I was like, ew.
Not you being a prude now.
No, it wasn't a prude, like a gross, offensive. It made me really think about buttholes. Does that make sense? Like, sometimes I think about buttholes in a very sexy, I want to fucking just eat that butthole. I'm going to tell you something. I might be hitting a little much here. Recently, in the theater of my mind, I was remembering a really good ass eating experience where I ate out a really good ass.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, what a great ass that was to eat out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing I love more than eating ass. I'm really trying to earn that Apple explicit content checkmark.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But when Denali did that, I was like, ugh. It made me actually, how after, this used to be a joke I used to tell. Like, I used to say that every time I come, no one's more homophobic than I am.
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of reminds me in that all of a sudden, I'm not going to get too into, people might be eating, but just everything you associate with
They're
that,
eating ass.
Yeah. Flooded my brain when she did that. And I was like, ugh, I don't need that right here. Not in front of my salad.
You cringed into heteronormativity?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
She did spend the entire episode showing her thighs and ass in any which way she possibly could. All of her outfits were very deliberately cut to show off an admittedly very fine pair of legs. But when she walked out for the runway and was like, yeah, I know I'm hot. I work really hard for it. Look at this. I'm like, oh my God, girl, enough. Enough. It's the damn Susie Toot. I'm so fucking intellectual and I need everyone to know it. Denali's like, I'm so hot. I need everyone to know that I know it. I'm like, girl, we know that you know it. Why do you have to keep saying it?
We hate in others what we see in ourselves.
Absolutely. That's why I feel totally confident saying it out loud.
So this, we're going to the third episode. Who do you think's going forward?
I think it's going to be Ginger, Daya, and probably Denali, though I would prefer Acid Betty. I think Acid should have won this week.
Yeah, they're doing Acid kind of dirty this season, this bracket. But we shall see.
I'm also a massive season 8 stan, so that is probably coloring my opinion of Acid. And even Cynthia Lee Fontaine, who said an absolutely ridiculous thing on the runway. She's like, I was just so grateful as an activist and person who's in the LGBTQIA community. I had this chance to recreate this look of an ally. What a huge opportunity. I'm like, what? What? That doesn't make any sense, but I loved it.
Wait, was it because she did the one where she performed with the other drag queens, but she wasn't in that show, right?
I don't think so. She called out that her sisters were also in that performance. Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do, Robert. We're going to do something very strange for the show.
I'm scared.
No, it's not anything big. Robert, what do you have going on next week? This next week.
Your standard shit. I'll be hopping over to restaurants. I'll be hopping over to screenings. I'll be hopping over to the beach. I have a graduation party for one of my cousins to go to. You know,
up north?
Normal summertime affairs.
You're driving up north?
I am driving up north yet again. I got to do it before gas hits $8 a gallon, girl.
Oh, because of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about that here, Robert. This is a funny show. We only talk about fun, lighthearted things.
So
like
true.
About
I forgot.
About me eating buttholes. I didn't eat.
What are you getting up to?
Girl, just work. Even though I might go to dinner with one Jean Paul tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have something going on this week. I have to look at the calendar. I'm at the place now where I have to look at calendars.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not used to.
iPhone, for some reason, a month ago, decided to wipe everything that I had put in my calendar for the next year. So I'm having to rebuild it. It's not an easy thing.
The problem I'm having is, for some reason, my Google Calendar and my Apple Calendar decided to stop talking to each other. And now I've realized I've missed a few events because it was in Google and not in Apple. We got to find a way to get them to talk again to each other.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going through a similar glitch.
Oh, interesting. This is the kind of show. Remember when I say like, oh, you guys missed this really great off-air conversation? This is the kind of stuff Robert and I talk about. I'm sure you guys, this is going to really sell Patreon.
Well, and guys, the nasty things Christian says about me behind my back.
You're safe, Robert. Christian doesn't listen.